Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I don't know that anyone knows for sure, but I can tell you one thing. It is not going to be based on who has the best plays. These teams have been working on plays forever. The teams have watched film of each other and they know how to think about what they're going to do. They know how to predict those moves and they're going to conjure up their own plans to mitigate those. It is not going to be who has the best players on any given team. That's what we'd like to think, but in reality, people get hurt. People are not always functioning at their best. Sometimes people just, they don't get chosen, right? Like they're running routes, wide receivers are running routes, tight ends are running routes, and they're just not getting picked, right, for the throw. And so you're throwing the ball to someone else and they're just sitting there going, I was wide open, I got nothing. Being the best person on the team or having many threats on the team is helpful statistically, but it doesn't mean that if you were to score and rate every person on one team and every person on the other, and then you did the algebra and you figured out who had the best team, you would know who's going to win. As we can also see throughout all the playoffs, right? When you watch the playoffs, what you discover is teams that were higher seeded did not win all the way through. Lower seeded teams made it further than we would have thought was possible if all that mattered was having the best players on the best team, what have you. So who will win? Well, I don't know if you remember this clip from a movie called Facing the Giants, but I think that it is incredibly helpful to think about. When you watch this clip, right, what you see is a coach who's interacting with one of his players. Now, in this case, it's high school football, but interacting with his player and saying to the player, hey, if you think we're going to lose before the game has even started, then we have no chance. But you're a leader on this team. And so I want you to see that you have more in you than you think you have in you. And isn't that something that we all need, right? Whether you have a coach, whether you have a really supportive spouse, whether you have parents that are still involved in your life, we need someone who can see in us more than we see in ourselves, who can encourage us and get us to go further. This kid didn't think he could get to the 30-yard line with someone on his back. And then he thought, maybe I'd get to the 50. He's got the blindfold on, and you watch as this coach motivates him. Now, for some of you, this is not the way you'd want to be motivated, right? I mean, we know that. Motivation is different for 8 different kinds of people. That's why we call them dimensions of motivation. Different kinds of people are motivated differently. I had a coach when I was playing in high school who would call us village idiots. We'd go to halftime and this British guy would yell at us and tell us we were village idiots, and we would come out in the second half and win consistently. And you're like, wow, that motivated some of us. But I had folks on our team who, when he would yell at us, they would be like, I'm done. I'm not playing for this guy, right? This guy doesn't motivate me. And they would kind of check themselves out. When you watch this video, not everybody needs someone yelling in their ear. But what he's yelling, right? When the kid says, I don't have any strength left, and he's like, then you find more strength. And when he says, I'm hurting, he goes, yes, it hurts. Now keep pushing. It's all heart from here. He's yelling and pushing and motivating. If you've never seen the movie Facing the Giants, you should. But to spoil it, because it's not a new film, by the end of this clip, the kid finds himself in a place he never imagined that he would be. And the team, you'll see, is motivated in a way they never would have been when they see their leader able to do so much more. So who will win the Super Bowl this weekend? I will tell you this. It is the team whose coaches find the ways to motivate them the best. Because that's the difference, right? That's the difference in inches on every play, on every first down, on every completion. When you see the crazy catches or you see the tiptoes on the edge of the line, when you see stuff that you're like, there's no way in heck that should have happened. It happens because coaches have found the ways to get the very best out of their mid-level players, out of their good players, and of course, out of their best players. When you elevate the game, when you have no right to be playing as good as you're playing because the coaches have found the ways to motivate you, then you show up as a completely different team and you change the odds. So when you watch the Sunday, watch the sidelines, watch the coaches, not just the head coach, all the coaches. Watch them as they engage and push into and motivate their teams. The one who does it better will end up with a higher score and win the game.